Joining us, Darren from GBE Electrical. Can we just start, mate? Tell us a little bit about your business.
So GBE Group been running since 1991, so 33 years this year. Three founding electricians started it. I'm one of them. So we just started off all that time ago and never thought we'd get to where we got. Of course, we just sort of buying us off a job at the time and been working on things over a long period of time. The three of us come from vastly different sort of backgrounds, so that sort of didn't really know at the time, but that worked for our favour. So we did our own things, and so now GBE's is employing about 110 people. That includes about 20 apprentices, we've got six or seven main business units. We've merged a couple together more recently and changed a few of our structures, but it's basically about where we're at, and so we have a manager in each one of those business units.
And so what are the roles of the three original founders now? I imagine they've changed a lot since the start.
That's changed a lot from the start. Myself, a managing director, but we've got an operations manager now, and we basically just consulting almost to the management team, if you like, is what we do. We work as a board of directors more. I look after the finance, that side of stuff, and strategy. Greg still gets involved in some day-to-day things because he just likes doing that with some clients, and Mick's similar for his key clients, but he's basically got a manager taking care of all his roles as well. He just supports him, works a couple of days a week. So we're cutting back a lot, and one of the things is the systems have allowed us to do that. So
and speaking of systems, what's your job management system, and how long have you been using it for?
So we've used AroFlo since 2006. We were an early adopter. It was probably part of the way it was put together in the early days, trial and error. So we've been on AroFlo, haven't looked to change. It does everything we need it to do. It's developed a lot over time. We probably don't use every bit of it. We still do things the way we've always done, something more or less.
I hear that a lot. I don't think anyone actually does use all of it, to be honest. There's so much
now. But it handles everything beautifully out in the field. It's allowed us way back early days is not have to be in the office to do invoicing and to do work. You could do it at home at night after you finish your day's work,
when
you do some more work. When you do more work. But that's how it was back then. You'd do that at night, and then when we had young kids and things like that, you'd be out doing it while they were swimming up and down lanes and stuff. You'd be doing invoicing,
Got it. And so obviously you've used dashboards by API to prepare some dashboards for you. How were you reporting before that?
So manual reports out of AroFlo, a lot of manual spreadsheets, some manual reports out of MYOB, and we would populate a few of our own design spreadsheets that we would do for our monthly reporting for business unit performance and revenue and gross profit. But our problem was that we were so far behind. We were probably like 6 weeks behind the event, the months, So that was something, as we got larger, we just had to solve. So that's when we started looking for something, and that's when we've stumbled across API.
And then can you tell me, have you noticed any significant differences since you've shifted across to live interactive reporting?
Well, we're basically live. We now have a monthly meeting on the 10th of each month, and we've got accurate numbers for the previous month by the 10th for everything. That's fantastic. So we've taken out and through having and now we have budgets and set budgets and sales targets and sales revenue. We've taken out a lot of the peaks and troughs. And we know when the future peaks and troughs are going to come up, so we can pre-plan for those a bit.
Yeah, so it made a significant difference to the business then, I imagine, when you've got that visibility and you can react before things happen, or at least, when they happen.
Yeah, we pretty well know straight away if there's something not quite right or a problem, and often we can look into it and fix it before it's gone too far down the track. Yeah, and a lot of the other dashboards that we've taken on have helped us, control and see our overheads and things like that better. Individuals, areas performance, individual technicians performance. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So obviously you look at some of your sales KPIs and you look at your performance KPIs for the guys. What specifically from a team member performance do you review and pay attention to?
They're non-productive hours, and what type of hours they are, whether they're just generally unbillable hours or whether they're training or other hours. And we've moved the way we measure our business unit support, so we know exactly how much admin support goes into each business unit now, down to $1 cost. So so that's where before that admin was just like one big pool of admin, and you didn't know exactly where the real costs were for particular business units, and that's allowed us to make sure where our charge out prices are more in line with that. Yeah.
The actual costs associated with a division. Yeah. And then maybe can you tell us, so since you started working with API, obviously it's a customization process that you go through to make sure that everything that you've got coming through in your dashboards is specific to your business and how you use AroFlo. How did you find that process?
The process of, it was pretty good. Was basically some samples given to us that we could look at, and then we could sort of figure out what we needed from that, and then put that to the team, and then they basically built a bit of a scope for each particular dashboard that we wanted, and then we see if that fitted. And then there was a few that came back once they went live that didn't quite weren't what we were after, but it wasn't a problem to get that sort of changed and tweaked to where we use it. And some of the reports we might not use as much as others, but then others we use all the time. So
yeah. Okay, no worries. Anything that you want to add at all?
No, if we've ever had any problems, I must say the team's been very good to the support team if we've got an issue, because there's several of us that reach out sometimes if they, if it looks like there's an error in the system or something or other, and it's quickly looked into and corrected, and it's supported by the support system. And we have had the occasional enhancement where we've gone, well, this is great, but what if we could get this information out of this dashboard, and that's been good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I find when I'm using them that the first version that you start with is very rarely the final version, because the more you use them, the more you think, well, actually, what if I could, and then I could, and then it sort of flows into this.
Yeah, exactly. Your mind just goes, well, geez, that's close to what I really want, but I just want this now. Yeah.
No worries. All right, perfect, Darren. Thanks very much, mate. I appreciate your time. It's been really good.
No worries.